I'll never forget the way her smile filled the doorway that evening. My sister stood there, hands on her hips, showing off the house she had just finished renovating. Marble counters gleamed, golden light spilled across polished hardwood floors, and every corner seemed designed to whisper, "Look what I've achieved." She looked straight at me and said proudly, $150,000. That's what I poured into this place. Worth every penny. I nodded, forcing a smile. It was beautiful, no doubt about it. But as I stepped inside, I couldn't ignore the weight pressing against my chest. Because beneath all that shine and luxury, this wasn't just her house. It was our mother's safe haven. It was the roof I'd helped keep over our heads while working 2 jobs. It was the one place that had carried us through storm after storm. But that night, my sister's eyes held something colder than the marble countertops. After a long silence, she finally spoke words I wasn't ready to hear. "You need to move out. It's time I had this place to myself." The words hung heavy in the air. My chest tightened. I glanced toward the hallway where our mother sat quietly in her chair, hands trembling. In that single moment, I realized this wasn't just about a house, it was about everything we had survived together. As my sister's words echoed in my mind, I couldn't help but drift back to where it all began. We didn't grow up in marble kitchens or under crystal chandeliers. Our childhood was small rooms with peeling paint, second-hand blankets, and the constant hum of bills we couldn't pay. I still remember the nights our stomachs ached, and Mom would pretend she wasn't hungry, sliding her share of food onto our plates. Back then, I became the protector. I worked after school, scrubbing tables at the diner, while my sister dreamed out loud about the life she was going to have one day. Big cities, pretty clothes, freedom. She wanted to run forward, and I never blamed her for it. But someone had to stay behind. Someone had to help Mom get her insulin when she couldn't afford it. Someone had to keep the lights on when the notice taped to our door said they'd be shut off tomorrow. That someone was me. And though I never asked for thanks, a part of me hoped my sister noticed. Hoped she understood the sacrifices made quietly in the shadows so she could chase the light. Now, standing in her shining $150,000 house, I wondered if she ever really saw it. The living room felt colder than the polished stone under my feet. My sister stood tall, arms crossed, her words sharp. "You've been here long enough. I put everything I had into this house, and I deserve to enjoy it without feeling crowded." Her voice cracked on the last word, but her chin stayed high, like pride was holding her together. I swallowed hard. Crowded? I glanced toward the hallway where Mom sat listening, her frail hands twisting the edge of her shawl. "This isn't just a house, it's Mom's home. You know she can't live alone. Where do you expect her to go?" My sister's eyes flickered, just for a second, before she looked away. "She'll figure it out. Or maybe, it's your turn to figure it out. You've been the one staying here, not me." The words hit like a slap. For years, I'd carried the weight, quietly, willingly. And now I was being asked to step aside like none of it mattered. I opened my mouth to protest, but before I could, Mom's trembling voice cut through the tension. She whispered, barely audible, "If she goes, I go with her." The room fell silent. My sister froze, her perfectly decorated living room suddenly feeling empty and fragile. Mom's words weren't angry, just honest. They carried the weight of truth my sister couldn't ignore. And in that moment, it wasn't about me leaving anymore. It was about what we were about to lose as a family. For a long moment, my sister just stood there, frozen in the silence Mom had left hanging in the air. Her perfectly made-up face began to crack, her eyes darting around the room like she was seeing it for the first time. The velvet curtains. The expensive chandelier. The pristine couch that no one was ever allowed to sit on. Suddenly, all of it looked hollow. Her eyes fell on Mom, hunched in her chair, fragile and trembling, but still ready to give up a roof over her head just to stand by me. And then her gaze shifted to me. To the sister who had patched jeans so she could wear new ones. To the one who skipped prom to work an extra shift for Mom's medicine. To the one who stayed when everyone else left. Her lips parted as if she wanted to argue, but no words came. Instead, tears welled up, smudging the mascara she had so carefully applied. She pressed her hand against her chest as if her heart hurt. "I thought," she whispered, her voice breaking. "I thought if I made this house beautiful enough, if I spent enough, I'd finally prove I'd made it. That I'd be enough." She sank onto the couch, her body shaking. "But looking at you too, I see it now. I've been building walls, not a home." For the first time in years, I saw her not as the proud, successful sister, but as the little girl I used to share a blanket with on cold nights. And in that moment, something in both of us began to shift. The silence stretched, broken only by the sound of my sister's quiet sobs. I'd never seen her like this, stripped of pride, vulnerable, raw. I sat down beside her, hesitant at first, then gently placed my hand over hers. "You don't have to prove anything to us," I said softly. "Mom and I, we never needed chandeliers or marble floors. We just needed you." Her shoulders shook harder, the weight of years of distance finally breaking apart. Mom, with her frail hands, reached across and took my sister's other hand. For the first time in what felt like forever, we were all connected, three hands woven together, stronger than any walls or riches could make us. Through her tears, my sister whispered, "I'm so sorry. I've been chasing the wrong kind of home." I squeezed her hand. "Then stop running. Start building it here, with us." And in that living room, under a chandelier that suddenly seemed less important, forgiveness began to bloom. The house no longer felt like hers or mine, it felt like ours. A place not defined by money, but by love, sacrifice, and family. Mom leaned back in her chair, smiling faintly, her eyes glistening. "Now," she said, voice warm, "this feels like home." Closing message. We spend so much of our lives trying to prove our worth through what we can buy. But in the end, the real treasures aren't marble floors or golden lights, they're the people who stand by us, who forgive us, and who remind us that love is the only foundation a true home will ever need.